Greetings and salutations. I hope everyone's having themselves a mighty fine day. Please like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell of dawn so the ghost of the 13-month series doesn't get you and you can stay notified. I think this was a topic of conversation that became unavoidable the moment the spin-off of Urek's ascent began in the Tower of God overall narrative. In the main story, we followed 25th Baam, and when he came to Hadon's floor to fight the Steel Eel, he did not have nearly the same capabilities that Mazino has presently, where some would argue he's already ranker, advanced ranker to high ranker level, though I would only say so physically because as of this recording, the first 6 chapters are out and he hasn't been able to use Shinsu yet. I still think he gets a lot stronger. But it begs the question, which character do you think ultimately is more fun to follow or more interesting follow? I am not here to answer that question for you. I am simply going to make arguments on both sides of the fence and then you can see where you fall. I actually tend to enjoy underdog stories personally. You give me the character that everybody has counted out, no one believes in, or has obvious limitations in some capacity, as opposed to the prodigies, the geniuses, or the monsters that we're looking at. Let's say I'm following a story where, I don't know, Yamcha has to fight like Goku, Vegeta, and Broly or something like that. I might root for Yamcha, right? Because he has the most to gain and is not maybe as naturally gifted and talented as the others. So I get it. As much as Baam is a monster, Urek is completely different, and you can pass it on to Phantom Minim and Enryu as well. But to me, just because a character is weak or strong or has a lot of growth to not a lot of growth is not indicative of them being fun to follow. It's things like personality, the actual story and narrative that you are in, and the things that you do, your agency in the story and in your own narrative. What are you doing? Are you proactive or are you reactive? The reason why I would say so far Mazino has been a lot more fun is just because he takes control of his own destiny, but the parameters are different. He's much stronger, so he can flex his muscle and he can stand by his thought processes and ideology because he has the strength to do so. Believe it or not, this might seem weird, but in a lot of ways it reminds me of Aguero and Shibisu. Shibisu is not nearly the combatant, nor is he a direct descendant like Aguero. So while I might think he has a little bit more cerebral horsepower, Aguero is allowed to play the game within the game a little bit more dangerously because he has his Kun family abilities to back him up. Shibisu doesn't. Baam is a very reactive character. Things happen, then he does the thing. He gets pulled along by the story instead of taking the reins by the story by its reins and dictating where it's going to go. This is not a criticism or a praise, it is just a fact, a statement. And perhaps to you, that's more interesting. To me, in the context of the tower, I think I enjoy it so far much more when the character is trying to take control of what's going on around them, deciding the rules may or may not apply to them or that they will not listen to them. I will march to the beat of my own drum, for better or for worse. I resonate with that maybe a little bit more. However, I understand why a lot of people, when they see a character that's generally seen as overpowered, just go like, oh no, they're no fun, it's not interesting, I don't feel any tension. But then, the argument that I would make, if you think Mazino's too strong, no one can beat him, is that Baam might not be too strong, but because of destiny and fate, the story converges around him in a way that I would argue is contrived, that allows him to win, get away, or at the very least, look good. You get what I'm saying? For as monstrous as Mazino is, Baam was able to scratch him when he was really not that powerful yet. His potential was always there. We understand that. But it wasn't that powerful. So to me, it really is going to be based on what it is that you personally value in storytelling. I don't think either or is better. It's always going to come down to execution to somebody like me. But if you went 6 chapters for 6 chapters of the climb, if you will, I would personally say I resonate with Mazino's a little bit more. But again, there's other factors playing into that, like me missing games. Turn it or flip it is fun. I haven't really seen a Tower of God game in quite some time for the most part because we're in a war. I don't really count the cat tower like that. And that little Tamatoa the crab, Sebastian the crab stock market game they played on that floor didn't particularly move me. So this felt like a return to basics, but with a twist, a remix if you will, and that's why I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I just wanted to make sure that all of that stuff was clear when I made this video. So the question is, do you enjoy them equally? Do you enjoy neither? Do you prefer following Mazino, or do you enjoy following the 25th Baam? Let me know in the comment section below, and have yourselves a mighty fine day. Naya Hemming signing out. We have been bleeding numbers and pledgers over the last few months. I really need your guys' help and support on the Patreon. But for everyone who's here, I greatly appreciate it. Shout out to the CBLs. That's the Certified Baam Lovers. Also a huge shout out to the Priests of Fire, 2nd tier. Best Billith Gang. Could be the real CBLs. And a huge shout out to tier 3, the 5th Zen Gods. Shout out to Big Chief, Gray, Johnny Rogers, Ketan, Lucky Roo, Muzaka, Scobe, Simi, Zyler Scotty, Big Abdel, Agrona Vitera. Your support is greatly appreciated. The other day, I was able to eat some sugared grass that was frozen like popsicles. We moving on up, people. We eating good now.